Hello, Gabe. Hello, Fred. Fantastic to have you with us today. So today we're going to do one of the first Meta Pilot Academy debates. It's called Human in the Loop and the Future of Defense. And the idea is to have, well, we already have two defense thought leaders with us today. So that includes Gabe, U.S. Air Force Senior Director and DEFCON Research Competency Lead in Army Future Command, Frederick Gregory. Both of them with a very strong defense focus, and also with Fred having a deep neurobiology background at PhD level, which I very much like because I'm a big neuroscience fan here. Um, and yeah, the aim is to explore the role in human in the loop technology in defense applications and in future applications. Um, we will look at the current state of affairs, but also think how the future might look like. Any of you that have watched or read, even better, Ender's Game, or into Star Wars or Star Trek, whatever it is that you can imagine that the future could look like, it's our job to not just imagine it, but hopefully make it happen. Very, very short introduction about each. So I'm just going to start with Gabe, who's also member of our board of directors. So senior director of operations in the U.S. Air Force, member of board of advisors on several groups. Not going to get too much into details, but I will allow Gabe to introduce himself.
Hey, greetings everyone. Gabe Arrington, currently active duty Air Force. I will preface that these are my opinions and not the Department of Defense. But it's great to be here with you today and on the board with Diana and Metapilot Academy. Great to have this chat discussion today with Fred. My background, heavy mobility, aerospace operations, but then got into some work in policy and strategy, particularly former chief of disruptive technology, as well as chief of operational wargaming for the Air Force. So very interested in this technology, emerging technologies, and how they're going to impact defense, aerospace industry, and mobility in the future. So great to be here.
Yep. Super. And then Fred, who specializes in identifying high leverage opportunities across sectors and translating complex ideas into actionable strategies. Also an executive board member with Metapilot Academy and has been for the past 13 years, oh, even more. 2 decades, U.S. Army DEFCON Army Research Laboratory, extramural competency lead and branch chief, humans and complex systems, so very relevant for today. Also previously program manager for neurophysiology of cognition in the same group and human dimensions before. And then there's a lot of other stuff, including teaching in neuroscience, but basically looking at a lot of opportunities where research goes into governmental contracts within the intersection of these fields. Feel free to introduce yourself, Fred. That was my limit.
Yeah, and so I'm Fred Gregory. So I'm a neurobiologist by training, focused initially on sensory processing. So really, coming from a background of being interested in how our sensory systems enable perceptions of the world, focus in the vestibular, our sense of balance, stayed in the inner ear, and also studied the cochlea for quite some time. So really interested in how the inner ear helps us to mediate our senses of the world, of whether it's a feeling of acceleration, as we'll be well aware in the aerospace industry, and how these senses within the conversation today. And so came to the Army, to lead funding initiatives for this neurophysiology of cognition, and sort of going from these basic mechanisms of neuroscience through to the human dimension, and ultimately to leading our humans and complex systems competency for DEVCOM, really spanning the spectrum from cellular molecular mechanisms all the way to individual humans, teams of humans, ultimately society, and into the socio-technical domain. what we're talking about today at that the interface between humans and machines. So excited to be here and look forward to the discussion, Gabe.
Super. All right. Well, obviously, the first question is, kind of starting with the title. It would be great to have a perspective from each of you. Now that we have the introductions, we can now go deeper into your careers. And, this was like the one-liner. But, first of all, what is human machine interface? What is a human in the loop? What is human machine interaction? Maybe let's start with what has it been in the past, and what have you been seeing within your roles that human machine interaction is, and how do you see it developing in the future? And feel free to go as deep as you want to in these topics.
Want to
I'll go ahead and
first,
start
Gabe?
out. Yeah, I'll